Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Week 5 rendition of Commanders Caucus Live. A stream made by me for you. I don't come in here with a script. This stream is going to be driven by you guys. So, we 2-2. So, what's the vibe today? What's the vibe today? We 2-2. We 2-2. I'm going to need Joe Witt to use his good eye. I'm going to need Joe Witt to use his good eye. I could have said Jaden back. You know, we got the 5 jersey on. I'm super excited that Jaden's back. I'm not going to lie. But Jaden Daniels don't play defense. Jaden Daniels don't play defense, and I honestly don't know what the fuck is going on with that defense at this very moment. So, before I get too deep into this stream, y'all know what I'm going to say. Go ahead, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and flood the chat because this is Commander Caucus Live. I don't come in here with a script. I ain't got too much to say today. Unless you lead the conversation, unless you drive the conversation. And what we talking about today? You know, this is the platform for you to rant when you want to. You know, this is the platform for you to vent when you want to. This is the platform for you to joke when you want to. But I think it's a lot of the first one going on. I think we might be doing a little ranting today. I ain't trying to crash out too much. I just took my high blood pressure medicine. Got some more high blood pressure medicine at 29. That's, you know, what comes with being a Washington Commander fan. I am not bragging about that by any means. But hey, if I gotta crash out, hey, so be it. I think it'd be worthy after that performance by our Washington Commanders this past weekend against the Atlanta Falcons. So here, let me go ahead and pull up the good news. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put up the good news for anybody that might be driving home. Thank you guys for spending your Wednesday evening, your Wednesday night with us over here at Bleeding B&G. So if you've been locked into a dungeon or if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? That boy, the golden boy, Jaden Daniels returned to practice today. Let me pull it up because I got to see 5 in a jersey in a full practice session today. Something I ain't seen in a couple of weeks. I don't know how to act. I saw 5 in that black jersey. I said, let me go ahead and put on the black jersey my damn self. I said, let me go ahead and put on that black jersey my goddamn self. So the boy, the golden boy, the burgundy and golden boy, even though he got black on, Jaden Daniels did return to practice today in a full capacity. I'm super excited, and it's probably the only thing that I'm excited about regarding this team right now. So how we feeling about this team? We got, what, 40 people in the stream right now? How we feeling about this team? Ain't nobody, they got us on mute. Like, we so down that they got us on mute. How we feeling about this team? Shout out to my guy, Chuck. Reposting the stream on X. I appreciate your support. But to be honest, like I said, I don't know how to feel. Y'all know we be cutting up on social media, and I was talking about the weather. I swear I was. I was talking about the weather when I said that it felt like 2013 out here. I think some people took that as I was talking about the team and the season, and they proceeded to bring pitchforks to my mentions. I don't think we going down in 2013 lane just yet, but I do think there's a scenario where we can get there. I don't think we there just yet. I don't think we thought 2013 was going to be as bad by week 5 either. Shout out my guy Lamont. He said, I ain't really mad at this point. The game Sunday was handled as well as I expected. Our defense isn't good under Witt, but we should do better versus the Chargers this week. I agree, Lamont, and like, I wanted to be as realistic as possible going into a game without Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels, right? So when the line began to move, y'all know we degenerate gamblers over here. I understood why. Like, Jaden Daniels is the best thing about this team, no matter how you thought his first 2 weeks of the 2025 season went. I personally think that people overhyped that Giant game, make it seem like he was worse than he was. But no matter how you feel about the first 2 weeks of the season for Jaden Daniels, he's still the best thing about this football team. He's still the guy that accelerated this rebuild to have us even thinking about being playoff contenders and having the 6th best odds for the Super Bowl going into the season. That was purely because of Jaden Daniels. So I try to temper my expectations, knowing all of that going into the game. But I'll be honest, I ain't gonna lie. The thing that I'm most upset about is the way that we lost. Like you said, the defense ain't good under Witt. And my thing is, I ain't even mad at the entire defense because I saw flashes from the interior defensive line Dorrance Armstrong, this was probably his worst game, but he had 3 sacks over the course of the first 3 games. The thing that gets me the most upset is that Joe Witt made his name being a secondary guy, being a defensive backs coach. And the worst part about this 2025 Washington Commanders right now is the defensive backs. That's one thing that I don't understand, and I don't see how it's going to improve. If anybody's supposed to have the answers, it's supposed to be him. It's supposed to be him. This is the unit that I would at least expected going into the season to be looking like they got 5 and 6 dudes out there running around with their head cut off, like a chicken with their head cut off. But that's exactly what they look like. So I'm with you, Lamont. Like, I ain't mad. It is Wednesday, and we gotta turn the leaf. We be acting like we players over this joint. We gotta turn the leaf over come Wednesday and look forward to the Chargers. But the thing that I'm most upset about, and probably my biggest concern for the season, is how we're losing these games and how we getting beat. I went back and looked at the numbers. We ain't even run that much man and match coverage as much as we did against the Oakland Raiders, because I think that Joe Witt went back and looked at that all 22. Like I came back and told you guys on the stream last week and saw that our defenders in the back 7 can't run with guys. So that man-to-man shit, as of right now, is cooked until you get some more personnel, until you get some more explosive playmakers on the defensive side of the ball. So he said, all right, let me switch it up. Let me go back to the zone. And them niggas got flamboyant. Them niggas got flamboyant. That shit look worse than any other game this far this season. We had Michael Penix out that bitch looking like Warren Moon, and I really don't understand it. Go back and look at Michael Penix film against the Carolina Panthers, against the lowly-ass Carolina Panthers. And I hate using other teams because the NFL is the greatest soap opera, the greatest reality TV show of all time. The ebbs and flows of a NFL season are fucking insane. But Michael Penix does not play the quarterback position the right way. He take half his fucking reps and half his snaps where he don't even drop back. Bro realize catch and just fire away. Don't give a fuck what type of foot placement he got. It ain't matter on Sunday, though. Because let me tell you, it don't matter what your foot placement look like when a defensive back is 5 yards, 7 yards behind the wide receiver. You ain't got to be but so accurate, my boy. And we saw it on the interception against Mikey Sainristil. That was a horrible throw. That some of the people in the Washington Commanders fan base, I ain't going to say some of y'all, because I know everybody that tuned into a Bleeding B&G stream, y'all real ball knowers over here. But some people act like that interception for Mikey Sainristil will arrest the fact that he's had a horrible first 4 weeks. First 3 weeks leading up to an Atlanta game, and then he started getting his ass cooked in the Atlanta game. It wasn't like Mikey Sainristil was clamping his guy when he made that interception. And I love Mikey Sainristil as much as the next man. He was about to be the next jersey I bought until the start to the season, if I'm being 100% honest. But you come to Bleeding B&G. What I'm going to say? Y'all know what I'm going to say. For the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis on your Washington Commanders. Mikey Sainristil ain't been it, along with everybody else in that defensive backfield. My guy Lil C. White said, I expect Sam Cosby to play this weekend. I do full participation. Was Sam a full participant in practice today? Let's pull up that injury report. He was. Wow. Yeah, Sam Cosby's a goddamn demon. Sam Cosby's a fucking demon. I don't think there's another way to put it. Bro tore his knee up in January. Ready to ball in the 1st of October. I didn't even know. I knew that they opened up his practice window. But I was living under a rock most of the day-to-day at work, so I didn't even know that he had a full practice session. So that puts him in line to play on Sunday. I don't know if he's going to start, but if he's – I don't even expect him to be 100% healthy, because if he is, that nigga heals like Wolverine. But if he's 80% of the Sam Cosby that I last remember, get Andrew Wiley the fuck up out of there. And Andrew Wiley been better than Nick Allegretti. But it's time we get some Pro Bowl type of talent back on that interior offensive line. Love Chris Paul as much as the next man. Love his developmental arc so far for his career. He ain't a Pro Bowler, though. He ain't Sam Cosmi. And I don't think Sam Cosmi's going to replace Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul is firmly entrenched on that left guard spot. Brandon Coleman is gonna have to get that shit back in blood, and I don't know if he can. That nigga lazy as fuck. I was in a field suite this Sunday. It took everything out of me from not running on the field and subbing out Lat or Wags. Deli, tell me about it, bruh. Tell me about it. And we touched bases on it in our game recap. And I really don't want to put too much smut on Bobby Wagner's name because I watched the entire NFL. Bobby Wagner is one of the 10 best inside middle linebackers of all time. I think Bobby Wagner better than Brian Urlacher. I don't think he's better than Ray Lewis. I don't think he's better than London Fletcher. I think he's better than Brian Urlacher. And I say all that to say, Bobby's time to get fitted for that gold jacket, bro. Because guess what? And everybody, my misinterpreted tweet when I was talking about 2013. If we do go back to 2013, though, y'all know my memory a little shot. It's been a long 30 years of this life. If we do go back to 2013, in London Fletcher's last year of his career, this is somebody that we try to put into the Hall of Fame right now. Teams were targeting London Fletcher in target. Teams were targeting London Fletcher in coverage. Y'all know I get a little nervous when the viewer count rises in the streams. Shout out to everybody just tapping into the stream. Thank you for spending your Wednesday evening, your Wednesday night with us over here at Bleeding BNG for Commander Caucus Live. We're here every Wednesday giving you the platform to rant, to cheer, to crash out, because this is a stream made by me for you guys, though. So I say that to say, your conversation in the chat leads this episode, leads the dialogue in this episode, leads the discourse in this episode. So go ahead and flood the chat. Super chats do get preference. So if you do want to support the channel, go ahead and send a super chat. Cash App donations, anything, it's greatly appreciated at the bottom of the page on the ticker. And if you don't know what a super chat is when you pay to infiltrate the chat. But no matter when your comment comes, you automatically jump to the front of the line. You automatically jump to the front of the line. It could be 35 people in front of you. Them super chats take preference. In this economy. And then y'all know fucking Chris Rodriguez. I ain't gonna say Chris Rodriguez. Cliff Kingsbury fried my parlay for this past week. If you follow us on X. Every other leg on that parlay hit. Chris Rodriguez has a 50-yard run at the end of the first quarter and never gets the ball again. That's the type of shit that makes me upset. So, yeah, when you look at the game and you step back from a macro point of view, missing your two best players, you're like, damn, I can't be too mad. But then you look at the context and look at how we lost, it's like, bruh, what the fuck was the coordinators on Sunday? This is the coaching staff that I've been praising because I'm used to incompetence from Ron Rivera and shit like that. Niggas look like a Ron Rivera coaching staff on Sunday. Sunday's game was a game where you're supposed to be running the ball 40 times. Not 16 carries in between Jeremy McNichols, Chris Rodriguez, and Bill. Stop telling me about pass blocking, bruh. Figure that shit out. Send that nigga out on the screen every now and then. Like, we thought the secondary would be the strength, and it's the worst unit. What a disaster. And why in the world are we dropping Armstrong and Miller in coverage? That's insane. I ain't mad that they drop him in coverage every now and then. You got cloud division of the quarterback. You got to switch it up. He can't be expecting 4 to come every time. But Von Miller, that. Same thing I just said with Bobby Wagner. These niggas do not belong in a football field in 2025. They need to go up, hit up your local K&G, your local Men's Warehouse. I went to like 8 proms back in the day. I know them all. They need to start getting fitted for them gold jackets, bro. They better in a fitting room getting tailored than in between the white lines for the Washington Commanders in 2025. That fountain of youth that Bobby Wagner found at the midpoint of last season, that shit out of service. The water not even running in that joint. So I'm not mad that they dropped him at all, like sometimes. And I want to go back into numbers, but I do think that Dorrance Armstrong dropped back too much on Sunday with the amount of the lack of pass rush that we got. I saw a stat that said we only had 2 quarterback pressures all game. and one of them was a sack. You're not winning many NFL games like that. And yeah, the secondary is the worst unit right now. But if you're getting 2 pressures, you're not helping your secondary out at all. Shout out Matthew and Gabby Short. Shout out, hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for spending your Wednesday night with us. How we feeling about this game? YT Rennie, what up, gang? What up? It was Marshawn versus AJ Brown, 4th and 5 in the NFC Championship game, and he got burnt. The rest is history. Nah, and you're not wrong, Mojo. But you want to know when the rest was history? When we traded for that nigga at the trade deadline. We did not trade for Marshawn Lattimore. We must have traded for LaShawn Lattimore or something. Like, damaged goods. Damaged goods. New Orleans do exactly what they were doing at the negotiation table with Adam Peters. And I don't want to be an armchair GM, and I don't know more than Adam Peters. But I think we've seen enough of a sample size to say that Marshawn Lattimore is not going to be living up to them mid-round picks that we gave up to get him. New Orleans knew that. They knew that hamstring was done. They know that shit was hanging on by a thread, literally. That shit probably still in New Orleans, to be honest, on their training table. That shit at the point of no repair. His hamstring got totaled. Like what? Like what? So, yeah. That 4th and 5, he definitely got burnt. I think it was already history before that. Because we could go back to that week 17 game. Yeah, he made a couple of plays, but when he had to run, and they was, he ain't 100% healthy. Well, he 100% healthy now, and he still can't run. The NFL's a wicked game, bro. The NFL is a wicked game. And I want y'all to go look at this right now if y'all think I'm lying. Y'all know that raw athletic score that we talk about all draft season that the Commanders seem to love when we talk about the relative athletic score? How well a player tests at the combine and at their pro days based off of their numbers. Marshawn Lattimore scored a perfect 10.0 when he was coming out in the 2017 draft. This nigga was the most athletic nigga ever. And to see that his powers are damn near Zach. Ain't no damn near. His powers are Zach. At the ripe old age of 29. Me and Marshawn Lattimore the same age. And I know I ain't got to fucking run out there every day. And I'm pretty sure I ain't the same that I was in 2017 either. But I was never tested as a 10.0 on a relative athletic score. I'll be the first to tell you. My 40 might have been like 4.45. My vert was ass. My bench might have been like 16. I would have topped out at like an 8.5 maybe. I would have barely made green. This nigga was a 10.0. And now he getting cooked by fucking Joe Schmo, special team gunner from the Green Bay Packers. And I think that this is a point that I really got to point out if you haven't checked our game recap. That's why I said I got to get context to the way we lost, the way we got cooked. Drake London is a hell of a receiver, right? He is. Drake London would be the best wide receiver on this team right now. Debate your mother. Debate your mother. Drake London is a hell of a wide receiver. Drake London did everything in his power to avoid a 40-yard dash when he was coming into the NFL in 2022, right? Drake London's average depth of target prior to week 4 was like 6 yards. They was treating this nigga like a big tight end. You know what he was doing against Marshawn Lattimore? Running by this nigga for 50-yard gains. It's the way you get cooked. You can't get beat deep by a nigga that came in the NFL running a 4.7. Let that nigga beat you on comebacks and digs all day. And I wouldn't be saying this. This nigga Marshawn Lattimore held on to Drake London running every bit of a 4.8. Held on to him. Tried to use his old man strength. That's the only thing that he got at this point. And this nigga Drake London still beat this nigga up top for 50 yards. Like, explain that shit, bro. Joe, what a secondary guy. Explain that shit. And that's not even a joke with Bash Point. I'm saying that the personnel right now is shit. He's not our best corner, but Marshawn Lattimore was perceived to be our best corner going into the season. At least on the boundary. And if you want to argue Mikey Savage still, that nigga been getting cooked too. We are going to win on Sunday. I hope so. I hope so. What's the line looking like? Bobby is still elite inside the tackle box. Bobby Wagner can be elite on first down. But you know what? You know what's changed even since Bobby Wagner came into the league in 2012? Teams are passing more. Teams are putting more players in space. So even like first and second down, we used to consider those rundowns. Niggas pass whenever the fuck they want when they see Bobby Wagner and Marshawn Lattimore out there now. See, I got YT Rennie touched on it. Yeah, he is definitely a liability on pass downs. You're 100% right. But what's a pass down in 2025? I saw Justin Herbert, speaking of the Chargers that we're going against. What game was that? Was it the second week or against the Raiders? They first 11 plays was passes. And this is a Jim Harbaugh-led football team that loved 3 yards in a cloud of dust. 1960s ass Michigan football. Every down is a passing down in the NFL. That's why I'm like, yeah, I need Joe Wood to use his good eye, but his good eye just might lead him to a bunch of other bums. Now, I ain't saying Jordan McGee's a bum. I don't know. But I do got to question why Dan Quinn spent all summer. That nigga spent all summer glazing Jordan McGee while he was Mr. Glass on the sideline. He was glazing him, and he ain't really had nothing to glaze him for the 2025 season, outside of what he was seeing in the building. So he was going out his way to glaze him. Now this nigga can't even see a snap. This nigga can't even see a blade of turf. Make that make sense, Dan? The loyalty and feeling obligated to Bobby Wagner, that shit got to go. Because you know one thing that I heard, because you know we tapped in, we really know ball and we pay attention to everything football related with our Washington Commanders. One thing that I heard people out of Atlanta talking about, like beat reporters and media guys down there when they were interviewing, or people from Washington were interviewing them when we hired Dan Quinn, is that one of the reasons that, you know, he went from Super Bowl runner-up, NFC championship in 2017 to getting fired by 2020 is the allegiance that he had to older players. And it seems like he might be having the same allegiance to old-ass niggas right now. Like, it ain't no way we should have went into week one relying on Noah Brown to do jack shit. Shout out Noah Brown. We will always have the Hail Mary. That looked like your last everlasting moment, your one shining moment. A whole new world. Like, bro, that fake motion from Drake when he went on our out route, I said they going to get him before the ball was snapped. Bruh, the book is out on our defense. And that was one of the few plays that we ran. Man, according to the numbers, I was shocked when I looked at the numbers yesterday night. I had to go back and look at some of the all-22 today, but I was like, yeah. No, we was running a lot of zone. That was one of the few plays that we ran, man, but the book is out on our defense. Everybody know that we got unathletic players in the defense right now, right? So what they're doing is sending teams in motion and running runaway routes from them. And they know that we got people in our back seven that can't keep up. So they running crossers, drags, and just gaining yards. He's gaining steps on our defenders as the play goes on, as the play gets drawn out. Chris Paul and Luke are showing me that we are making an effort to develop these players that are projects. I'm looking to see more from Senate. Oh, hey, Lamont, you my guy. You are my guy, Lamont. Chris Moore in like year 11, bro. He is nowhere near a project. He is nowhere near a project. I would definitely like to see more from Ben Simmons. I was a big Benjamin Simmons fan coming out when we drafted him last year. Even so much so that I wasn't allowing the people that tap into my page to believe that bullshit rhetoric that was coming out of Ashburn over the first 2 weeks. Like, oh, Ben Simmons can't get on the field because he's just a pass catching, like, he's just a pass catching threat. No, Ben Simmons was blocking niggas at Kansas State. Adam Peters compared him to Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle. Them niggas block. And guess what? Ben Simmons has proved me right over the last 2 weeks in place of John Bates. But I'm starting to see a trend where people are justifying a couple of good blocking reps and saying that Ben Simmons has shown that he's worth a top 60 pick. The bar is in hell. The bar is in fucking hell if that's the case. Like I said, I'm going to acknowledge the good blocking reps. He did have some. He did have some. But the bar is in hell if that's the fucking case. If we talking about a couple good blocking reps being enough for Adam Peters to justify drafting Ben Simmons in the top 60 pick. Like, we got to take them burgundy and gold lenses off at some point. We have to. You know I got to. They done got me on my soliloquy. They done got me on my soapbox. But this ain't a stream for me, as I say. So go ahead and flood that chat, flood that comment section, because you guys are leading the discourse today. Shout out my guy Deli. Very in tune into the chat today. I appreciate the support. And when Big John, I'm so flustered I can't even read right. And when B. John called the swing, all I could hear was, bruh, did we not call it on this very stream last week? Joe Witt. Y'all know Joe Witt. I told y'all how much Joe Witt nut ass love man and match coverage. I know he was sitting on his motherfucking hands calling all that cover 3 and them cover 2 last week. And while I very much so want him to use his good eye, we got to talk about this personnel. I think we got to hold Adam Peters a little closer to the fire than we are doing. And y'all know I'm one of the leaders of the Let Adam Cook mantra, the Let Adam Cook movement. Letting Adam Cook got one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. This is not an indictment on Adam Peters, but it's the truth. Y'all come to Bleeding BNG for the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis on your Washington Commanders. So I'm going to give it to you. Because guess what? Y'all hate when I run victory laps. What's up with old ass niggas hating when a young nigga tell them I told you so? And I ain't even that young. What's wrong with a nigga saying I told you so if he was right? Like, that's some beta ass shit that I just had to get out of in front. Because I'm dealing with this shit every day now. Because guess what? If you really been tapped into Bleeding BNG, y'all know we eat crow when we wrong too. Y'all know that. That's why I had to pull up a clip of me eating crow and the shit ratioed the shit out of a nigga. It was a nigga in my mentions. Y'all know we live tweet during the game. When Quan Martin got cooked by Kyle Pitts in the fourth down, on the fourth quarter, on that third down. I lied to y'all not. It was a nigga in my mentions before the next snap talking about, oh yeah, we're Bleeding BNG at now, talking all that shit. What? Talking all that shit because I said that Quan Martin's a Pro Bowler? That must be one of them niggas that think Terry McLaurin the top 3 wide receiver. Oh shit. Let me be quiet. Let me be quiet. Like what? And then I had to pull up a clip where I'm talking about Quan Martin being burnt toast too, because we really live up to the fact that we the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis on your Washington Commanders. I ain't got the pom-poms with none of these niggas. Yeah, they my favorite team. But I think some of y'all want some of these players to smash. If I'm being 100% honest, date your daughter or something. It's why I say even if JD5 plays against the Falcons, Washington would have still lost. Bro, the Falcons could have named the number on offense. The niggas could have scored 55 points if they wanted to. Yes, I said 55 for a particular reason. Them niggas could have scored 55 points if they wanted to. Same thing with the Green Bay Packer game. I hate when they be like, oh, the score doesn't really reflect how bad they was getting whooped. Those were definitely the cases in our 2 losses, though. Them games was never close. It was a 1-score game in the fourth quarter, and I don't know how the fuck. I don't know. I do know Michael Penix ain't as good as we made him look. So he gave us a chance. Because they was about to go up by 3 scores. Truth. Because they scored every time that they didn't get the ball up. Shit was pitch and catch. Just like I told y'all. Y'all seen the stream. Y'all seen the short I posted. I said if Joe Witt put Bobby Wagner on B. John Robinson in man coverage on any rep, Bobby Wagner's hamstring will be left in Atlanta in Mercedes-Benz Dome Stadium. And I just got to talk. I ain't just get it. On Sunday night, I got the call from my inside sources over there in Ashburn. They said Bobby Wagner's hamstring did not make the trip. They hope that shit to be back by next Sunday. What's up, TT? What's up, gang? Appreciate the support. JWJ. Who is JWJ? Got too cute. Oh, Joe Witt Jr. Got too cute on Sunday, trying to throw Penix Deezy's out of look. Just call what we can actually run. What can we run at this point, though, Tony? We run a man and match coverage, and we send Trey Tucker for fucking 600 yards and 3 touchdowns. He run a lot of cover 2 and cover 4 last week, and we make Drake London look like prime Randy Moss. I think I could beat Drake London in a race right now. And he's a damn good wide receiver. You don't have to be super fast to excel in the NFL at the wide receiver position. Puka Nacua, one of the greatest wide receivers I've ever seen. Nigga run like a 4.6. But it's the way we getting beat. It's the way we getting cooked. It's time to question DQ and his competence. JD5 was the best cologne we could have came across. I need him to let him hang and snatch the play sheet from Witt. Bro. Like I said, there were a lot of people in Atlanta talking about how Dan Quinn's allegiance to coaching staff guys on the coaching staff, and his allegiance to older players was what wrote his death sentence as a coach for the Atlanta Falcons. And I don't think he's going to get fired. He's going to borrow time with that 2024 season. I don't think he's on a hot seat by any means. But if this shit continues, and goes into what, 2026, 2027, y'all going to hear a whole different bleeding BNG where Dan Quinn is concerned. CT's 100% right. And I don't know if he got that line from bleeding BNG, but it's a line that we spewed before. JD5 is the best cologne that could have happened to this roster, this ownership change and everything. All of the good vibes that we had going into the season was due to him. And the biggest faith of mustard seed, or the biggest mustard seed that I'm holding on to right now, because my optimism ain't as high as it was 3 weeks ago, is the fact that he ain't played every game and he coming back. That's why I can't wait to Sunday. Because Sunday is going to let me know how I need to go about the rest of the season. My expectations, if Jaden Daniels come out looking like 2024 Jaden Daniels again, oh shit, Super Bowl back on. If he look like Green Bay Packers Jaden Daniels, just simply because he ain't 100%, I might be eating a little crow. And like, all right, that sophomore slump might actually be a thing. I hope not, though. Because like I said, I think some of y'all are overhyping how bad he played against the New York Giants. Nigga still accounted for over 300 yards. Marshawn ain't what he used to be, but we cannot compare this dude to BSJ's trash. Bruh. Marshawn Lattimore paced to give up more yards than Benjamin St. Juste. The facts are the facts. Marshawn Lattimore is on pace to give up more yards than Benjamin St. Juste did in any season. The facts are the facts. I would like to believe that Marshawn Lattimore is better than Benjamin St. Juste. I thought that when we traded for him last November. He's been Marshawn St. Juste, though. I'm sorry. It is what it is. You lucky I ain't called him Marshawn Forbes. Benjamin St. Juste was at least better than Emmanuel Forbes. So I won't compare him to him just yet. That nigga not a real football player. Damn, I got sneezed like shit. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Y'all don't come to the stream for that nasty shit. They both cook. Marshawn and Bobby, yeah, they definitely cook. God damn. Like it's October with the fucking allergies. Tobiato J. What school you went to? High school? Or college? Or middle school? You want me to give you a whole rundown of my lineage? My lineage? In high school, I went to Bowie High School for the first 2 years. I went to Annapolis Christian. Then I went back to Bowie High School and graduated. Then I went to Bowie State. Middle school, I went to Tasker, Benjamin Tasker. That's where the sniper was shooting, if y'all don't know. I wasn't there yet, though. I ain't that old. Yeah, and then I was in DC schools before that. I went to Orr. It was called Orr back then. It's Boone and Minnesota Avenue now, and Randall Highlands on Pennsylvania Avenue. Yeah. So speaking of that, though, it's funny that came up. Stop calling this nigga Southeast Sean. We do not claim that nigga, bro. We do not claim that nigga, bro. RCBs don't got recovery speed from what I say, so they don't. They don't. That's why I almost passed out when I saw that Jeremy Reeves was running 23 miles per hour to catch B. John Robinson. But guess what? I'm going to need him to use that speed as a gunner on special teams only. I'm hesitant because y'all delusional about the players that y'all love. And I know y'all love Jeremy Reeves. He been here for a long ass time. I get it. We need to just give Jeremy Reeves a straight Matthew Slater role, bro. Niggas was ready to put Matthew Slater in the Hall of Fame based off of what he did solely as a special teamer. Nigga had like 3 more catches than me in his entire career. We need to give Jeremy Reeves that type of role. Because looking back at the All-22, that nigga was lost. How you the oldest nigga in the secondary lost in zone coverage? And this is not to make him the scapegoat, and this is not giving Quan Martin a pass by any means. I told y'all, Quan Martin ain't been what I thought he was going into this season. But with Jeremy Reeves out that bitch, it's a reason why this past week was Quan Martin's worst game. It's like that nigga playing safety by himself. It's like that nigga playing safety by himself. Amos is better than Marshawn. I said what was perceived to be going into the season. Amos is definitely better than Marshawn Lattimore. I ain't arguing that at all. Joe Witt needs to realize Marshawn is a press man corner at this plan. Yeah, and I agree. I do agree, Tony. I do agree. But the thing is, when everybody else is better or can't play press man and don't press as good as you and run just as bad as you, it's hard to like be in unison and have a universal coverage across the field. Now, there are teams that do have exotic looks and go half field zone coverages, half field man coverage, and we might need to implement a little more of that. But like, I don't think Mikey Sanders still can play a lot of press man. Niggas running through that press all day, and he don't have the makeup speed to catch up. I do think Trey Amos has the potential as a press man corner, but even then, I think he's better as a press bell corner, where Marshawn Lattimore is straight press, jam you in your fucking face. I play DB. That's the one position that I think I know more than most niggas, even niggas in the NFL. Marshawn Lattimore is 100% a press man corner, but there's different variations of press that you want to play. I don't know if I want Trey Amos out there playing hands on guys all game either. But as I mentioned, there are defenses and coaching staffs that are able to, utilize different coverages in one play. So we might need to get a nigga that's more innovative, a nigga that's more exotic on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, I'm a little done with the whole DQ stick, dog ass competitors. Yeah, team soft as baby shit. And CT, I know that you was tapped in. I know that you've been one of the day one bleeding BNG supporters. Was I not talking about, and I ain't say that they was soft. I ain't say that. I ain't even gonna say that I said that. Because that'll be putting out false shit that I didn't say. Was I not talking about how short them training camp practices was when I was in Ashburn? No. 45-minute practices ain't it, bro. On any level. I coached Little League football for 3 years. If we ever had a fucking 45-minute practice, I was ecstatic, ready to go the fuck home. And this is with 7 and 8-year-olds. Like, and I'm mad that I ignored these facts going into the season. Because if you look at the games, specifically this Atlanta Falcon game, and look at the tackling effort, they look like a team that was having 45-minute practices, bruh. Niggas talking about how efficient and fast these practices is. Nah, them shits is short. They was giving out a whole bunch of words to describe a short ass practice. So I ain't done with the DQ stick yet. And I know y'all hate when I run victory laps over here on Bleeding Me and G. But go look back at the live from OTA episodes that I did in July. I was like, bruh, I was only out that bitch for 45 minutes. I'm mad I even made that trip. I'm like, yeah, they be mad that we record plays. There wasn't even many plays to record because they was out there for 45 minutes. They was definitely feeling themselves coming off that 2024 season in that NFC Championship game. Damn, I'm having fun with y'all today. Pause. 40 minutes in. I feel like I just got on the stream. We could do a lot worse. Did you watch the game? They gave up about a fourth quarter. They definitely did give up about a fourth quarter, but bro, that's like comparing yourself to like the tallest midget, bro. You still a midget. Not gonna lie, not gonna lie, bro. No, that nigga said, shout out Vaughn. I went to Bowie State with Vaughn, my man. That nigga definitely said, not gonna lie, bro. Not gonna lie, bro. I think it's time for DQ to start calling plays and put the younger guys out there. I ain't gonna debate you on that. I ain't gonna argue on that. Because I think what DQ calling plays does is allow if he keep him on the coaching staff, is allow Joe Witt to focus on the secondary. I started this stream by saying the biggest thing that makes me the most frustrated about these losses is that he's a secondary guy. Joe Witt is a secondary guy. And for that to be our weakest unit, I think that's the most inexcusable part. I can see if our defensive line was getting ran through their fucking throats like 2024. I can understand all of that. But to see guys like, it's almost like offensive coordinators know exactly what the fuck our secondary is going to do. And like, it's like pitch and catch every time. Bruh, Twitter, the way Twitter be filtering these searches is weird as fuck. But I agree wholeheartedly that we need to stick some younger guys out there on both sides of the ball. On both sides of the ball. But definitely on defense. Like I said, DQ spent all summer glazing the shit out of Jordan McGee. Nigga can't even get on the field. That doesn't make sense to me. That does not make sense to me. Because the thing is, he didn't have to glaze him. Jordan McGee wasn't even on the field. So he was just talking him up because he wanted to. He was really just talking him up because he wanted to. Or because he really believes that he can be that caliber of player. And my thing is, if that's the case, why is he not out there when we see Bobby Wagner out there chasing niggas with a fucking cane? Like, what are we doing? So I agree with that 100%. That loss of Javonte Jean-Baptiste, I think, is going to hurt us more than people are talking about. Because I think he did give us a little juice as a pass rusher. But, hey, man, we knew we was going into the season with the oldest roster. We knew that. That's why I don't think these injuries are like a one-off. I think there's a lot of things to go into these injuries. Like the 45-minute practices that we was having in Ashburn. How long of a leash does Dan Quinn have before Adam Peters calls Robert Saleh? To coach? To be the head coach? Or to bring Saleh in to be the defensive coordinator? I like Robert Saleh, but I don't know. I don't trust his coaching tree. Yeah, I think our defense will be legit. But what the fuck does Robert Saleh do for Jayden Daniels? I think that Dan Quinn, I don't think he's the greatest X's and O's coach. I think that his biggest calling card is that he's a leader of men. And he's a fucking like magnet as far as like he's a force magnet as far as getting people to be attracted to what he's all about. Like Yeah, they looked incompetent on Sunday. They looked incompetent. They did. I still think Cliff Kingsbury is one of the 5 best offensive minds in football. Now, if you're talking about bringing in Robert Saleh under Dan Quinn, I think that could work. But I don't know if Adam Peters is thinking he's going to be the replacement for him just yet. The honeymoon period is over for APDQ. Questions with the wide receiver room and clogged up. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Y'all heard me just talk up Dan Quinn. So there's not an indictment on him by any means, but our 2 losses, as far as the coaching staff goes, has been very Ron Rivera-ish. Clock management. I just said I think Cliff Kingsbury one of the 5 best offensive minds in football. You ain't have to be the evil genius that we know you to be on Sunday. That was a game when your running backs, that fucking committee ass running back that you running out like it's fucking college football, which I don't mind. Even though Bill needs to get more touches, as you see on the screen, even though some of these numbers are lies. Yeah, he does average 5.9 yards per attempt. That's not first in the league. Travis Etienne average over 6. But second in the league, ain't nothing to scoff at. 38% first down rate, first in the league. 72% success rate, first in the league. 14% explosive play rate, which is 7th in the league. And I think can even get higher if we give him more touches to get a rhythm. He out there making explosive plays, and he cold. And he's fucking cold. But I do think that the honeymoon period is definitely over. As it should be. We going into what? Dan Quinn and them 22nd game. We do not need to be riding that high off that 2024 season even anymore. Even though I am chasing that feeling again, because I don't think I felt it yet. I ain't felt like I did after that Monday night against the Cincinnati Bengals last year yet. I ain't felt like I did when we put fucking 600 points on the Cleveland Browns 2 weeks after that yet. I ain't feel like I did when I saw Jaden Daniels hit the I ain't represent and ain't gonna run in Arizona yet. I don't think I felt like that yet. Ben said AP was jive like cooking with no gas. Straight raw chicken. Yeah, bro. Yeah. But the thing is, with our old ass roster, don't expect a lot of immediate personnel change. Because if we got to get younger, which we do, we cannot give up any more draft picks. We only got like 5 this year. Because guess what? We spent like 3 on fucking Larshawn Lattimore. That is not Marshawn Lattimore. That's Larshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore was left in the fucking closet in New Orleans somewhere. We still ain't found that nigga. Jaden made Cliff, AP, DQ, and the rest of the organization look way better. I agree. I still think that AP can still be one of the best GMs in the NFL, but Jaden Daniels definitely made him look better. Because let's start looking at 2024 draft class. I used to say that Jaden and Mikey was holding this draft class up. Shit might just be Jaden by the end of this season. Shit might just be Jaden. And I'm never going to say that you failed in a draft where you got your franchise quarterback. But that might be the only nigga that get a second contract with Washington at the rate Mikey Sanderson's going this year. And this is how I know, like, y'all want to smash these players, or y'all want them to date your sister, your daughter, or something. I had a nigga in my mentions tell me that Johnny Newton been great. Yeah, I think that was worthy of a moment of silence. I had a nigga tell me that Johnny Newton has been great. Johnny Newton, who was drafted in the 2nd round, that a lot of draft media pundits told us was the steal of the draft. That can't beat out Javon Kinlaw, who many of y'all, not me over here bleeding BG, y'all considered a bust. Johnny Newton played like 15 snaps a game. I would hope that he's great in those fucking 15 snaps. Nigga, it's only 15 snaps. Nigga, energized as fuck every time he come on the field. I'm nervous as fuck. We're not looking anything like I expected. Me too, man. Me too. Like I said, the only silver lining that I have, and I don't even think it's a silver lining because it's not a positive, is that guy ain't been out there, but he returns. He returns on Sunday, and we're gonna see. I'm gonna really make my, not final because the season is fluid, the season is transitive, but I'm gonna feel more conviction on how I feel about this team on Sunday than I do now. Because I got to see how Jaden Daniels is, and I think Sunday is going to let us know or give us a glimpse of how we should expect the rest of the season to go. Nah, JD5 is definitely him. Him and a bag of chips. People keep talking about we don't have 5 or 7. Yeah, but we still put up. There's no reason the team didn't score a point the week before. This ain't on day. Cliff ain't have a great day, but he did. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I said, Deli, you was the first comment. So I know that you was in here. You know when I said I came into the game with tempered expectations because we didn't have 5 or 17. It's the way we lost that got me the most pissed off. It's the way we lost that got me the most pissed off. I also think Josh Conley might need a season. Oh, yeah. Josh Conley definitely lacks play strength. But right now, they're swearing that Josh Conley is my latest target, so I ain't even going to spend too much time on it. I do think he's played better. But Josh Conley, yeah. Yeah. Young guy. But just because he's young doesn't mean that I need to lie and say that he's played great like some of y'all want me to do. Last week against the Raiders, I came on the stream last week and said it, was the first time that I saw Josh Conley shoot his hands all year. Shoot his hands. Bro was just catching. Bro was just letting defensive ends fuck his chest up. Like he's swole, and he not. Great observation, Vaughn. He definitely lacks a little bit of play strength. Another year in the NFL program could definitely do him some good. But Brandon Coleman just spent another year in the NFL program, and he's still built like the Michelin Man. So, like, what the fuck? Merle, what the fuck? Merle. You trying to tank the season? Christian Wilkins not better than Deron Payne right now. He's not. And he freaky as hell. I don't know if we need that in the brotherhood locker room. Nigga might take brotherhood to a whole new level. We ain't in position to trade any talent away on day. Yeah, I agree, George. You won't be eating crow. JD5 is going to rip shit this weekend versus the Chargers. I hope so, Lamont. I'm standing on it, though. Because I think that every time 5 out there, I think he's capable of having an all-time performance. Amos got recovery speed. Yeah, he does. He showed it against the Green Bay Packers because he was definitely beat on that play. He got recovery speed, though. I think he got more recovery speed than initial speed to be 100, like get-off speed. Practice short like we won something. We not champions. Yeah, Doc Walker used to go in on his crash outs about this time. Bruh. And I wasn't trying to crash out. Y'all know they say that I get a little hyperbolic, get a little emotional. I definitely made that observation, though. Doc Walker definitely knew what he was talking about. We need Doc Walker back on the airways for moments like this. Because he would have been talking about it the day he saw that fucking 45-minute practice. What the fuck is this? Coming off the NFC Championship game. What the fuck is this? Because that's what I was saying. What else we talking about? Nah, we're the creative and aggressive off dog calls clip saving it for when we go 2-6 type shit. Right. I don't know what he's doing. That's why I said these laws feel very Ron Rivera-ish. I knew we was waving the white flag against the Atlanta Falcons, and it gave me Packers PTSD when we ran a fucking draw to Jeremy McNichols on 2nd and long in a 2-minute drill. Fucking Jeremy McNichols running draws. And first of all, that play call is ass, right? The run in itself is bullshit. Why isn't that a play that goes to Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, though? Because Jeremy McNichols is a good pass blocker, right? So had a nigga in the pass block. I don't need the nigga running draws. Yeah, he had an amazing highlight play against the Raiders. How many times has Jeremy McNichols done that in his tenure with Washington? Why we signing guys like, bro? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Robbie Chosen is fucking cooked. That nigga wants to be a streamer than a football player. How bad are Willie Snead and fucking River Craycraft that he beat them niggas out in a workout? Robbie Chosen was out there with no ACL having Odell Beckham and was still like 2 spots behind him on the depth chart. Robbie Chosen Anderson, whatever the fuck you want to call this nigga. His calling card used to be Speed like 6 years ago. Now this nigga 32. We seeing it with Terry McLaurin. An over 30-year-old wide receiver relying on speed ain't a ingredient or a key to great success. Why Cliff love to rotate players so much? You see Lou getting bruh. You tell me. You got all the questions I was asking. Because I ain't gonna lie. I turned it back on because of my obligations to the podcast and to the channel and what I feel like I gotta get at people. I turned the TV off after we threw a one-on-one jump ball to fucking Chris Moore. Like this nigga was prime fucking Plaxico Burress. We throwing one-on-one fade balls to Chris Moore. Nigga couldn't catch a cold in Alaska during preseason. And I'm not blaming Marcus. That just shows you the state of the roster right now with the injuries and what that wide receiver room was going into the season when you're relying on niggas like Noah Brown. Noah Brown ain't played a full football season since 5th grade. Go look it up if you think I'm lying. Nigga never played a full high school season, never played a full season at Ohio State, hasn't played a full season in the NFL. Nigga ain't played a full season since 65-pound ball. And we've been on here for a minute. We about to hit the hour mark, so you know what it's time is. It's time to pull out the parlay. It's time to pull out the lay. For the last time before I pull out the lay, go ahead, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, go ahead and send that super chat. I'm all for giving Billboard touches, but he can't block. I need JD5 as protected as possible. You are Vaughn, he can't block. You right. You right? But when we lack explosion from other skill players, you gotta there's gotta be some priority somewhere. So either you spend that nigga, you get that nigga all week to block in practice so that you ensure that he got it down pat on Sunday, or you scheme around it. JD5 rollouts, cutting off half of the field. As I mentioned before, he don't need to block. Put him out there on a passing down for him to run the screen, for him to run the draw. You can get creative because he can't block. He can't. Yo, what up, Brody? What do you think is the reason, in your opinion, behind why we're playing kind of scared now before the half, playing timid, holding the timeouts, going away from what's working? As far as the play on the field, I think because we're old as fuck, we're slow as fuck, and them training camp practices, shit was like Club DQ, 45 minutes. You can't get acclimated to playing real football in 45-minute simulated training camp practice sessions. And I knew when that joint practice session got canceled with the Baltimore Ravens, I was like, I ain't going to say that I knew that we was going to look as bad as we was on defense. But I was like, that is not good. That is not good at all. Is Johnny even playing 18? Who knows? Who knows? They told me he was playing great, though. That's how you know they got the brightest of burgundy and gold lenses. Nah, Merle, my guy, but I don't know what the fuck he was talking about just now. But not too much on Merle, though. That's my dog. That's real day one. Real day one. But yeah, Merle, we are not trading away Deron Payne. Jaden and Terry called their own shots on them explosive plays last season. Cliff play calling be too conservative. I recall them saying that they called a couple of their shots like the Cincinnati Bengals game. I don't think Cliff Spade calling is too conservative. I think it's, and I think it's more expected than conservative. And what I'm saying is, and I know y'all have heard it, like the lining up Terry McLaurin on the left side for 100% of the snaps. Even if I don't think that Terry McLaurin's a top 10 receiver, other wide receivers across the league get force-fed targets because they're moving all over the field. Scott Turner used to use Terry McLaurin in the slot, and I thought that was some of his best work. Early career Terry McLaurin inside slant from the slot was fucking money. That nigga ain't seen the slot since 2023. Teams are starting to realize we can't defend motion. I seen Drake London barely play in slot before our game, then all of a sudden, yeah. And you know why he was in the slot? It was a mismatch with Mikey Samerstill, 6'4" against 5'4". You know, it was a mismatch there. But they sent them other niggas running in the motion behind them so they could get the stack. Them speedy niggas that they know is going to run away from Marshawn Lattimore. They're going to run away from all them other corners. Even a guy like Trey Amos, who I think is a hell of a corner. He ain't the fastest to be running man-to-man across the field. He ain't that. Yeah, I don't think Noah Brown played a full season in his existence playing football, bro. What's up, Simba? What's up, gang? How are you? I got mad as hell when people mentioned Noah Brown, like him returning actually means something, bro. I said against the Green Bay Packers, thank you, Noah Brown, for the Hail Mary. You'll be forever etched in my memory based off of that play. You can always come back to Washington based off of that play. Shit, they bring Josh Morgan back every year. Like, we remember that nigga. You can always come back to Washington. I ain't going to tell you go get fitted for them gold jackets like I'm telling Bobby and Vaughn. But you might need to go get fitted for some golfing clubs or something. Because your body clearly not holding up. All right, these are the last couple of comments I'm looking at before. You definitely don't need to block. You can definitely run. Yeah, you can definitely scheme up ways to get Bill the ball. Newton had a few snaps. And that ain't about like Simba. You must have came in here late. This ain't a Johnny Newton bad session, but it's to talk about the fans that are delusional and wear these burgundy and gold color lenses. Fans telling me that Johnny Newton great. Last time I say, bro, I'm shut the fuck up, but I think everyone understands because you can see now how they play. You don't need to shut the fuck, bro. You 100% right. You 100% right. I think they got a little delusional because I think that they fully believed it and they fully understood last year. They're like, we're here because of Jayden Daniels. If you heard like a Bobby Wagner press conference towards the end of the season, he was basically saying like, yeah, Jayden Daniels is like that nigga. Like, that's why I believe that we got a chance because we got Jayden Daniels. And I think they got away from that over the course of the summer. Everybody outside of Jayden Daniels. Now him getting hurt ain't help. I think we got to acknowledge that. But I think they started to believe that they was the reason that we got to the NFC Championship game. And you see it with certain players in their contract holdouts. Them talking about touchdowns, like touchdown out of quarterback-dependent stat. There's a reason why you got 10 more touchdowns than you average your career with Jayden Daniels. Because you ain't have Taylor Heineke and fucking Sam Howell throwing you the ball. So there's definitely something to what you say. Them players started to smell their own stuff all across the board. Dan Quinn started to smell his own stuff. That's why he was having 45-minute practices. And Adam Peters started to smell his stuff. That's why he was like, he thought that these old niggas was the answer. He thought this roster was better than what it was. And the reality of the situation is the quarterback was better than what we thought he was going to be when we drafted him. He accelerated this. And they think that because he's so good, you can just pair him with a whole bunch of old niggas. That's not how football works in 2025. For those that are testing with, I need to see him. There's nobody in coverage. Oh, yeah, we done already talked about it. We done already talked about that game. You 100% right. But let's look up the lay. This might be the longest Commander Caucus stream we done had. Y'all done flooded the chat. Y'all was a little slower here. Y'all done flooded the chat in this joint today, though. I appreciate all the support. As I've said before, thank you guys for spending your Wednesday evening, your Wednesday night with us over here at Bleeding B&G. Excuse me. Not gonna stay on here too much. About to make this parlay and get out of here because niggas starting to talk wrestlers in the fantasy chat. Niggas that I beat last year that ain't. I beat this nigga in the fantasy playoffs in December, right? I didn't hear from this nigga until September, right? And now he like talking again. I'm like, nigga, didn't I already pack you up? Some niggas have no shame. Like, he left the chat and everything. Came back the day before the draft. How are you back talking shit again? Because I'm going to always say that I packed you up. Like, literally, like U-Haul box. Like shipping tape, right? Here we go. Y'all know how StreamYard do me. Y'all know how StreamYard do me when I'm trying to pull up. And there ain't even Hurricane Sandy outside today, so I don't even know, like, what we doing. I know I had to cut the stream short last week. That shit was raining cats and dogs, literally. Like, it felt like a motherfucking German Shepherd hit my motherfucking roof. Of course, it ain't nothing to see here, bro. Y'all should be fucking up the motion. You know what I'm most excited about with my degenerate ass about Jaden Daniels returning? We get Commander props back, y'all. We ain't gotta wait till Sunday morning to get Commander props. We ain't gotta wait till Sunday to get Commander props. All right, bet. It's up. We play a God damn, we do play at 4 o'clock. Well, my Monday's ruined. The line already moving. I got a good feeling about this game. It opened up as Chargers -3. But y'all got to remember, most teams get 3 points just based off of them having a home field advantage. It ain't too much of a home field advantage for the Chargers against anybody. I definitely expect to see a lot of burgundy and gold in that stadium on Sunday. And Vegas knows that too. I know. Yeah, you right. Yeah. My principal just gonna have to understand. I'm gonna be coming in there later, a couple Mondays, maybe a couple Fridays. You just gonna have to understand, chat. You just gonna have to understand. All right, let's look up FanDuel. Do we still not have props? Does FanDuel still not have props? Why the fuck don't they have props if Jaden Daniels was cleared today? What the fuck are y'all expecting? A setback? All right. We're gonna try DraftKings. Y'all know at least last time DraftKings had the Falcons props. Why don't we have props, bruh? Do y'all think Jaden about to get hurt? Don't put that smut on my man, bruh. What are we doing? I just got so fucking hyped for props. Boys, not to have no fucking props. So we're gonna check DraftKings. No, for sure. That shit essentially a pick'em. That shit is essentially a pick'em. Bro, what the fuck, bro? I don't have to log in to bet, bro. I don't have to log in to bet. Hold on, man. Blame FanDuel, y'all. Blame FanDuel for this technical difficulty. Cause why the fuck we ain't got JD5 props? But y'all know my degenerate ass. We still gonna make a ticket. We still gonna make a ticket. We still gonna make a ticket. Let me see. There we go. It's NFL. It's week 6, week 5. Any bets y'all like? Commanders plus 2.5. How we feeling about the Commanders plus 2.5? While StreamYard pull up this slow ass internet, even though it's hooked up to my Ethernet, I don't understand. Nah, props come out when the quarterback is healthy. Props come out on Monday. Yes, you 100% right, Lee. I forgot Debo was on the fucking injury report today. You 100% right, Lee. That's exactly what it is. Because those Debo lines are going to affect everybody else. We know Terry ain't playing. You 100% right. I forgot. How we feeling about Debo not practicing today? Y'all think he plays? Y'all think he practices tomorrow? They still got us slip from the Falcons game. Oh, y'all can see the proof. If y'all think we capping, y'all can see the proof. Where is that? Where is that? Y'all thought we was capping. Cliff Kingsbury sold this fucking parlay. B. John over 60 yards. Falcons first quarter money line. Chris Rodriguez anytime touchdown over 45.5. We know what we talking about with this gambling shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, so let's see what props we got. So we over here on DraftKings. We got some props. We only got a longest completion passing prop. We only got a Ertz receiving prop. Why we ain't got no rushing props? Oh, because Jaden. All right, bet. So we got a little more over here on DraftKings. So this is what we gonna do. I told y'all the Falcons was going. Y'all see, I don't sell you fluff over here. Y'all Falcons first quarter money line. I didn't think we was gonna win that game last week. And if you was in the stream, you know I said that. Fuck, man. I don't know if I like that 2.5 or I want to buy it up to 3.5 for a leg. Fuck it. Let's get the people what they want. We ain't got too much to work with. I'm gonna go under for Quentin Johnson reception, longest reception, under 23.5. We're gonna go under there. I'm gonna go over Lad McConkey 20.5. Because I think he fucking flames Mikey Sanders still at some point. I'm gonna go no, we're not gonna go there just yet. I can't do no alt spreads. All right, alt spread. We're gonna buy that. We're gonna buy that point. I think we're gonna win, but why not play it safe? What's the odds on the parlay? Y'all can't even show me my odds. What can't be parlayed? What the fuck can't be? Yo, this shit pissing me off. What can't be? Oh, the Johnson and Lad under and over. All right, we can just go Lad over there. You can't parlay alt spreads anymore? Huh? Bruh. This is a disaster. Yeah, they got a bunch of bullshit up. Yeah, I think we're gonna hold off on the prop because I don't know what the fuck is going on the parlay. Just make sure that you follow the channel. Make sure you follow the channel because I will be posting the parlay the morning of the game. Gonna win you some money. Debo just resting. Said it was a hill. Who said it was a hill? Who said it was a hill? Damn, they ain't got underdog in Maryland? I never knew that. Them niggas that play underdog, they be driving a VA? God damn. The commitment. The commitment. Yeah, I think we're going to pass on the parlay on the stream. Y'all ain't about to get me out here making no dummy tickets, but make sure you tap into the channel at Bleeding BNG on X, on Instagram. I will post that prior to the game. But yeah, I appreciate y'all spending y'all Wednesday night with the boy over here with our week 5 rendition of Commander Caucus Live. I appreciate y'all. I'll check in on y'all on the flip side. Make sure you tell a friend to come tap in with us next Wednesday because you know we not missing it. You know we post it. Healthy, sick, whatever. We posted Commander Caucus Live next week. I don't know if we crashing out. I don't know if we venting. I don't know if we praising, but I'll check in on y'all on the flip side. Peace.